Hi, and welcome back to Casual Adult Coffee with Alicia.
And Corey,
We're going to be discussing,
going down.
otherwise known as female oral sex, or
Cunnilingus.
totally not pronounce that ever.
Eh, not a tough word. Easier to say than it is easier to do.
I've never had a terrible bad experience with it.
You know what? I have had, I remember when I was younger, I actually went down on a girl for 45 minutes and still didn't produce the desired result.
Again, can't see that being a bad thing.
I, of course, at the time, just enjoyed doing it. I could have been blindfolded and licking an ice cube for all I knew. But
I hope she wasn't that cold.
No, I don't go to the cemetery anymore. But
not while I'm taking a drink.
So, and after our episode about blowjobs, and of course there being a little bit of, I think blowjobs do definitely have less to do with technique and more to do with enthusiasm, but I think going down is definitely more of a
skill set.
For example, and the appreciation and the excitement, it's still, the enthusiasm still does it, but I think from the women I know and have been with, it also feels like more of a mental block on their part. Like, I've got a handful of friends online and guys that are ready at the drop of a finger to always go there. Like, I will dine at the Y no matter what time of day. And
but you need to expect a little hair.
Don't care. It's, you know what? And me personally, I prefer a tiny bit of grass on the field. If it's totally bald, I feel like I'm committing a crime.
Good to know. I've actually heard that from quite a few guys.
But that's the I think trick is that. Remember our comment on the blowjob episode with upkeep.
Yes.
And women, I think, are terrified that they, admittedly, society has put an awful trick on you. And that you are, this might come as a shock, you are not a perfect 10 at any given second. So.
The horrors!
So, of course, as much as you and I can joke around about it, I think after, let's say, a day at work, that you're like, nope, my pants are wet, I don't want to. But I find if I'm ready to go there, if it's gross, I'll stop. If it's not, I'm keep going. And that's, I think, too many women interpret.
There's so many products on the market that tell us that we're not fresh.
You're not a summer breeze.
Yes, we're not Febrezed.
Yeah, and that's, I think that's valid in the fact that women are, there's been a few, I can't say that every woman I've been with has been a beautiful sunny day, but there's been a handful that have smelled like death, and that I decided not to have the buffet that day. But for the most part, if a guy, I think you can split men into two camps on this game as well. There's the kind that want to, and the kind that don't, which is believable. Of the kind that want to, I'm guessing they always want to. Like,
that's kind of been my experience.
You could be not showered for 3 days, just finished a game of football, come back in, and he'd be like, and I can't say that I haven't. The only time that there's a tiny bit of
hesitation,
period.
Yeah.
That does put a pause in the game.
Yeah.
But the trick is if you have a shower and then go down, there's no period to worry about. But that being said, like we were saying, women are our society and media, and
we're super self-conscious.
Right. And that's, I think, where it goes wrong, is that they're worried that a guy isn't going to like it. And then
We can't relax, and if we can't relax, we can't enjoy it.
For sure, and that's a valid comment in the fact, if I was terrified that, like, if I was sitting there and the whole time I'm thinking, I wonder if I smell Daisy fresh. I wonder if
Is he doing this because he wants to, or is he doing it because he has to?
is he doing it because I went down on him? I can see, that felt weirdly uncomfortable. I can see a lot of mental blocks into why women don't enjoy it, or they do enjoy it, but they have that qualifier as to like when they'll allow it, or and that's, I think, where we're, technique aside, I mean, sure, there's going to be some guys that are, like I said, blind, licking an ice cube, doesn't matter. It could be, but, and obviously there's more finesse to a woman's parts than there is to a man. A man, you'd really just need a circle and repeat a whole bunch. But for a woman, there is technique involved, and there is, all you have to do is listen to what she likes. If she goes, ah, then you're like, hey, that's a good move. Keep doing that one. If she goes, then you can generally mix it up some. I mean, but.
And focus on the external parts, not the internal parts.
Yeah.
This is a tip from a lady that I knew, whose husband and her they hadn't been with anybody else, so they were learning together. And didn't realize that for oral, that where the penis went is not where the tongue went.
Yeah. And that's
exclusively.
I think, aside from oddball circumstances, I think there's, and that goes back into communication with your partner. If some women love fingering while you're licking, some are like, you know what, I don't want to focus on too much, and some are okay.
And don't be afraid to bring toys into the mix too.
And yeah, toys, a crowd, the loud music, there's 1,000 things that can happen. But for the most part, the men, like we were saying, the men who want to do it, they want to do it. But the women are...
Or the women that want to do it. Like, this isn't just a heterosexual thing.
Agreed. Like, there's lots of... I would think, and this could sound sexist, if you had those parts, you would probably know how you like them toyed with.
Not necessarily. It's still a learning curve.
That said, I don't have a vagina. I've paid a little bit of attention in anatomy, so I mean, I know what's down there, but I don't have the exact frame of reference myself. So I can't say, oh yeah, it's right in the labia majora, because I honestly don't know what that is. But I do, but I'm just giving examples. But I have to admit, in my past, there's been, if I am really attracted to a girl, if I want to impress her, if I want it to matter, I will go down. But if she's a girl that means less to me, then I'm less likely to. I mean, assuming everything else equal, the smell, the playing field, if everything was okay, then it actually does come back into whether I want to impress this girl. And there's been a handful of girls that I have to admit, I don't care if she's there in the morning. So I'm like, I don't have to pull out my A game. So, but for the most part, I want to. Like, I mean, I want to go down. But like I said, there is a handful of times that the emotional involvement. If I'm really into her, and then it will overcome. And that's, I'm assuming, the same way with other guys who, like you said, they either really, really want to or really, really don't.
And you can tell. Right?
Right. But the emotional involvement, I believe, is the same reason why if you're like, oh, I haven't showered for 4 days, I just pulled a plow across the field, I wrestled an alligator on my way home from work, I am exhausted and it smells like cottage cheese. That some guys are going to say, but I still love you. I'm ready. And that's why it doesn't matter. That, and it turns out it's just basically sweat. So
It truly, yeah, it truly kind of is mostly just sweat.
So, ladies' perspective?
The biggest thing is relax. Relax and enjoy. Like if your lover is willing to hamper you like that, because really it is. It's all about you when they're willing to do that. Chill out, relax, enjoy. Because wow, it is
It's pretty
amazing.
awesome.
It really is. Like, and especially when you've been in a long-term relationship with somebody who's taken the time to get to know exactly what you like and gets to know your body.
Kudos to the cameraman. And that comes with a long-term relationship as well.
Yeah.
Like, knowing what your partner likes and knowing what they enjoy. And
Yeah,
that's,
and they can get you off in 2 minutes, or they can take their time and
take 3.
yeah, like, you know, after you had kids, 3 minutes is like a luxury.
Going twice.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
probably, that's the most thing. It's the comfort with another person, but
It's a connection.
for sure. But like we were saying, I would say women's biggest obstacle with it would be the fact that they are nervous about how they appear, how they smell, all of these things. But to a guy that's ready and willing and has already made a commitment to be with you, that none of those, and whether it's a commitment for an hour, whether it's a commitment for the rest of your life, it's, he's there and he's wanting to, that women don't need to worry.
Yeah.
That would be my take on it. That, I mean, aside from there are a few bacterial infections that can go down there and really, really, really make it rotten. Like, rotten.
But that's a case of taking care of your body.
Yeah.
You know, and those are fairly
And the
easy to
upside,
clear up.
if your partner is comfortable enough with you to go, oh, wow, that at least then you're on top of it and you know that something's wrong.
Yeah.
But, I mean, just going, oh no, I'm a little sweaty today, that's not something wrong. That's...
Yeah, and that's a matter of, you know, taking care of yourself and knowing your body. Like, if we've got a yeast infection, we know. Trust me. And vaginosis, same thing. We know.
Right.
So...
And those valid medical concerns. But being just a long day at work doesn't make it smell any different.
So, I think that kind of covers it.
For the most part.
Or I guess uncovers it.
No.
My turn for the bad pun.
So,
Well, thanks for joining us.
any questions or comments? Because I'm sure I'm not an absolute authority, as I'm sure neither are you.
No.
I don't have a vagina, so the odds of me being an authority on it go down somewhat. Go down.
Oh, no, you get the bad puns.
That's right.
I will be putting our email address in the comments below, so feel free to send us an email. But please like, share,
Subscribe to
subscribe.
your friends.
You know, help us get the word out there. And we look forward to your comments. And we'll see you on the next episode.
Sounds good.
Take care.